Hello, and welcome to episode 20 of the MisanthroPod. I'm Snipe, and as always, I am joined by Wib. Say hello.
Hello.
And I'm also joined, shock horror, by Tapi de Batterie, because he's in France now, and that's his fucking name.
Yep.
So, Tapi de Batterie, or whatever, how the fuck you say it. How are you? Why did you leave us? Why did you leave us for so long? Did it make you feel good to know that we were all alone?
No, it makes me feel good to know that you're still there. You haven't just ceased to be when I can't see you anymore. So, object permanence is a thing. So that's good.
Dude, you're at least like 20 years old. You've probably got object permanence.
By now, at least. Although I want to say, I am very disappointed in you.
Really?
I'm very, very disappointed. Yeah, like...
He's been cursing under his breath all day.
Oh, hang on. One second. Sorry, I'm still coughing up tooth floss. So hang on.
You're coughing up tooth floss. You're not supposed to eat.
Oh, you sneaky little shit. Okay. See, we can't remember what we had for breakfast, and you're referencing that.
Yeah, well, I did call it tooth floss, so it's not all good.
But I am very disappointed in how disrespectful you've been, because I had a whole thing planned out if you weren't going to be here for another podcast. Really? A whole story of why you weren't going to be here. It involved you forming a boy band, which was not actually really a boy band. It was just you yelling at stray cats in an alleyway. But you insisted it was a boy band, even though it was only you.
But I'm a boy, so
yeah.
I mean, I guess it's not technically a band. But...
And you were going to call yourself the New Kids on the Block, and you were going to get really, really angry when people pointed out that was already a thing. But now you've ruined it. Now that fun little story that I was going to go off, it was going to be like 5-10 minutes of quality content.
Was there a pleasing character arc in there?
There was going to be a lovely character arc, and you've completely ruined it now. So I hope you're happy with yourself.
Oh no. I kind of wish that... Okay, drama, pretend you're not here, because I really want to hear where this goes.
So what have you been up to, Miss Drummer Matthew
Tapi
Esquire?
de Batterie. Hon.
Yeah, I shouldn't admit this, but I don't know what you're saying.
You've been in France, what, at least a day?
Well, like a week and a half.
I wasn't wrong.
No, you
I
were.
said at least a day.
She is saying drummer Matt in French.
Okay.
Well, it's more like, I'm not saying Matt as a name, I'm saying it as like a doormat or something
that's why
that
I
you put
couldn't
on the
work out
floor.
what you're saying, because I haven't learned fucking doormat yet.
You idiot, God.
Piscine,
Drum.
that's all you learn in French at school.
Piscine, don't piscine the
school,
pool.
School French has taught me nothing. Oh, actually no, because I could order baguettes, which is what you learn in French at school.
Have you had to order baguettes while you've been in France?
Oh god, yeah, every day. Like literally, not even joking.
To be fair, that sounds genuinely
baguette
heavenly.
every day is a thing.
Marvellous.
That's perfect.
Did I ever tell you how the one time that I've been to France, a French person legitimately came up to me and asked me the way to the beach? So just came up to me and was like, où est la plage? And I was like, and I was prepared. That was like the one question that school trained me to be able to answer. And I just stared at him because I was not prepared. And then he just kind of looked at me, sighed, and went, which way is the beach? I was just like, it's over that way. And he was like, thank you, and walked off. And I felt like he was so disappointed in me.
Oh yeah, because you're an Englishman.
Well, yeah. And that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, I've had that a few times actually, because you can get, from context and things, you can just about get what people are saying a lot of the time, especially if it's basic stuff, but quite often it has to go through an extra, you hear it and then you understand in English and you reply without really thinking, but because I've got to go through their step of translating it in my head, by the time I've worked out what they said, they've already given up and wandered off. I'm like, no, but I know what you mean now. Oh.
Come back! I know that the cat is on the table.
Yeah.
So you basically have Skype lag in real life.
Yeah. So it's just making me feel really stupid, which is a bit annoying. But it's good. I've got proper French lessons starting next month, and I'm going to a free one this afternoon actually, which might be
nice.
alright. Because there's like
that sounds pretty rad.
at like community centres type things. There's like a couple of free lessons every week.
Awesome.
So
Hopefully they won't all just walk off if you're having trouble translating stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, as long as I can get by through Google Translate, it's alright, and I'll learn, so it's all good. It's just a bit scary being in a city. Right at the start, I was like, I can't talk to anyone here. This is weird.
Now you know how we feel.
But, well,
careful, you're cutting a bit close to the bone there. Oh,
but yeah, it's good. It's good. We've got a few. We're still in an Airbnb at the moment. Hence my experimental setup of laptop on the floor, so it's got Wi-Fi, and then I'm sat cross-legged on a big cushiony seat thing, but it's like 6 inch off the floor. So I'm kind of sat cross-legged on that with the microphone on the table in front of me because I haven't got a desk either. So it's like it seems to be okay. But hopefully we've got some house viewings this week, so hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll find somewhere of our own. Because this place is lovely, and the people here, to be fair, bless them, they're absolutely... Everyone here so far has been amazing. Like, we went round for a drive at the weekend with the people who own the Airbnb, just driving around looking for to let signs outside buildings so we could ring them, and then they helped us ring some and things. I was like, you guys don't really have to do that, but awesome.
Maybe they just really don't like you.
They want to get rid of us.
Yeah, and they're like, we need to get these fucking English people the fuck out of our building. Let's just drive them around and look for for sale signs because I need my life back.
Yeah, I hadn't thought of that. Okay, fine.
I'm sorry.
They're afraid you're going to make their building leave the EU. That's the problem.
But yeah, it's alright. But what with learning French and having to do flat hunting and things, I haven't really seen anything of any sort of media, I guess, games or films or anything.
I guess that's actually a fairly reasonable excuse.
I guess.
I mean,
a bit moving to another country.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've watched a lot of YouTube, but I mean, I'm not sure how relevant that counts to anything useful.
Well, I guess it...
Well, it depends. Did you watch any videos about dabbing, or, I don't know, what's the latest memes?
Dabbing?
Because it isn't dabbing.
Dabbing.
It's not dabbing.
It's probably not dabbing.
No. But the kids like to dab.
Yeah, I really wish you wouldn't bring up dabbing. It's awful.
I don't want to Google that, do I?
No, it's not. It's just stupid, like, pose that people... It's I think it's classified as, like, a dance. I don't know. But yeah, it's all the kids are into dabbing.
Yeah, it's very stupid. Don't look it up. You'll be stupid of having known.
Fair enough.
Well, fortunately, we have got our fingers on the pulse, and we can teach you about everything that's gone on. And by everything, I mean like the 2 or 3 things that we've actually been paying attention to.
Yeah, like the Nintendo Switch event happened.
Ooh, yeah, I have actually seen a little bit about that.
I watched 2 minutes of it at 2 a.m, and then went and played Overwatch instead. And then I watched the recording, so I did get caught up.
Okay, so you watched it enough to work out that you couldn't play Overwatch on it, so give up.
Yeah, that's not what I said, but you're not entirely wrong, actually.
Shall we just talk about the Nintendo Switch straight off then?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so, how much do you know, Matt, about it?
Bits and bobs. I saw the trailer a month or 2 ago, whenever that was. The one where I think we spoke about it with everyone partying on the roof and everything. I saw that.
Well, let me take this £300 piece of kit to a bar, because that's a good use of my time.
Well, in fairness, people do that with phones.
Is that how much it is? £300?
It's £280 in the UK, yeah. But there is a few caveats to that. So no one get cranky. We're going to probably complain a lot about Nintendo's.
I don't know. I think we're usually okay for complaining about Nintendo because most of the stuff that we deal with is like PC gaming.
Yeah. Yeah, this is true. Okay.
So we can probably get away with bad mouthing Nintendo for a while.
Oh yeah. Okay. So few points of note on it. Its release date is March the 3rd this year.
Okay.
Going to be about $299, £280.
Thanks, Brexit.
Further regional prices to be announced, I believe. There's no region lock on this one.
Yeah, they've actually done the sensible thing and not had that now, so that's a positive.
Yeah, I'm glad about that.
So you can get all your weird Japanese games for it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Although there is a problem with that. Which is that if you want some decent games on launch, well, I say decent games, but if you want games on launch, then getting them from other regions is probably what you're going to have to do, because in Japan, its launch lineup is a very beefy 8 games.
Yeah. Don't play them all at once now.
Bearing in mind,
games.
8.
Bearing in mind, like, the PS4 had, I think it was over 20 when it
26
launched.
or something.
I mean, granted, some of those were download-only titles, and some were titles that were on other systems. But Japan has more than anyone else. The US has 6 games, and for us, we will only get 5 games on launch. I can tell you the complete list. It is Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, which looks good. 1-2 Switch, which we'll get to later.
Oh, yes.
Super Bomberman R, Skylanders, Imaginators, and Just Dance 2017.
Oh, Just Dance.
Yeah.
That is the complete launch lineup.
I can't wait to get my Just Dance machine. Yeah. Oh, wait, I can't because they're fucking sold out everywhere.
Yeah,
this is another fucking big problem.
Nintendo... just one thing about the launch lineup thing. One last thing, which is the one extra one that the US gets is the Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus.
Oh.
That's not fair.
We don't get that, apparently. I looked at a launch list, and it's not even listed... like this year coming out.
What?
So I don't know if it's ever...
Why would you stagger releases if you can just buy them from other countries anyway?
Yeah, let's just buy it from America.
It's weird.
Yeah. But yeah, the availability of the Nintendo Switch is pretty boned. Because it's sold out fucking everywhere. And they have been shits for just not providing adequate products to be sold.
Yeah, well,
like Amiibos, the fucking, what was it? The SNES Classic?
The NES Classic.
The NES Classic, which didn't they send like a few Walmarts just one console each?
Oh, many outlets
at least.
Were only sent like 1, 2, or 3.
Yeah.
Of this new thing that was like the hit thing that everyone wanted for Christmas.
It was that ROM emulator that you could plug into your TV.
Yeah, I mean,
which, to be fair, I really did want it because it's super cute.
Yeah, it was adorable.
It was totally adorable. But the fact that it was like, oh, we've produced 10. Have fun, fight to the death for one or whatever.
Well, I guess that's the thing. It's the press of having it's sold out everywhere, must buy, rather than they can't leave the shelves.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's.
I think they can probably work out the balance there a little better because all it ended up with was that the people who could afford to order like 5 or 6 of them like early on would get those and then sell them for astronomical prices over there. Just people scalping it. That was what it really encourages. But this is seemingly happening not on quite such a ridiculous scale, but that's also happening with the Switch with everything selling out already. Yeah. So that's not good. There is the big taking the piss thing that has kind of come out as well.
Oh, which one?
What's this?
Well, it's the online service. Right. So you know how you pay for Xbox Live and PlayStation Plus and to access like the online features and stuff.
Oh yeah, you do now with PS4, don't you? You didn't with PS3.
No, you didn't. No,
that was good.
They're doing that with the Switch as well, but for the first year it's free, and then after that you have to pay out. Have they announced
$5 every month?
Okay, $5.
And you get a free ROM.
Yeah.
Per month that they take away from you afterwards.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Well, you know how with the other services you get games.
You get incentives.
Like, you get incentives.
Well, I lived with a guy who had PlayStation Plus, and it was actually pretty. Well, this was back on PS3 days, where you didn't have to have it. You only had to have it if you wanted to. I can't even remember what you needed it for with PS3. I think it was just an completely optional thing, wasn't it? But you got loads of free games. I was like, actually, you know what? This isn't too bad, really.
Yeah. Well, Nintendo saw that model and went, how about instead of doing that, we do it shit?
I think that was exactly what they said.
You get I think it is a old NES or Super Nintendo game per month, and at the end of that month, they take it away again.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not being funny, but like, how many minutes, like, estimate how many minutes it would take you. And I'm not encouraging this, but how many minutes would it take you to go download an emulator and a ROM for a single game and get that running on your computer?
Well, you see, seeing as I've never done that, I'll have to guess maybe 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I guess.
And then you've got that forever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
what about, so we've bought a couple of games on the Wii.
Oh, the fucking Wii, the original Wii.
Castlevania, and it's like, so...
Yeah, the original Wii Virtual Console was fucking terrible.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't particularly have too much faith in their ability to emulate their own games either.
I don't know what it is about Nintendo and online services, but they just can't seem to do it.
Yeah.
They're a bit crap at it.
Yeah, well, they've never really done it properly before, have they? I don't think.
Well, they tried with the Wii U, but I played a Wii U once because I'm pretty sure only 3 of them are in this country.
Yeah.
So yeah. Well, actually, speaking of the other consoles, there was a fun little thing in the presentation where they made a big deal about how the Switch is inspired by all of their previous consoles, like the controllers on them.
There's the
especially.
analog from the N64.
Yeah, they keep bringing up all these things, and they go through like their entire like back catalogue of consoles.
Virtual Boy?
The conveniently missing out the Virtual Boy.
Because we were watching it, we were like, where's the fucking Virtual Boy, Nintendo? And it shows you like a collage of all the games, like the game consoles.
Well, because the thing is, like, with VR being what it is at the moment, like, they could actually, I would have fully expect, when you said that, I was like, oh, they're going to, like, go from this weird, Virtual Boy naffness to, like, some sort of weird VR thing for it.
The really weird thing is that they couldn't think of anything good to say about the GameCube. And bearing in mind, I actually really like the GameCube.
Yeah, GameCube
so
is cool.
Yeah, GameCube is adorable.
Yeah, so they go through all the things. They're like, okay, so the NES had this set up.
It had the iconic D-pad buttons.
Yeah. And then it went
B and
on...
A, motherfuckers.
And then it went on to, like, the SNES had these extra buttons. And then it got to, like, the analog stick from the N64. And then it got to the GameCube, and then it was like, that had a handle, which showed that we were thinking about portability of our home consoles. Even back then, it was just too soon. We were ahead of the curve. It was like, what?
I saw a great post that someone was like, yeah, that handle was actually for picking up and bashing a motherfucker for smashing you up in Smash Brothers. That's what... It wasn't for travel, it was for fucking assault.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm liable to agree.
But the new controllers, which are called Joy-Cons... TM.
Trademark.
Yeah, I'd heard the Joy-Con thing.
That's honestly, they sound like little vibrators.
They really do.
They look like little vibrators and they sound like little vibrators. Like, oh, hi, honey. Have you tried the Joy-Con TM?
The thing is,
yes, Deirdre, I have.
They look really uncomfortable because they're so small and weirdly shaped.
Yeah.
And unlike the analog stick and buttons are so close together and like oddly spaced on each one, and they're slightly different on each one. It just
asymmetrical as well.
Yeah, it looks really, really uncomfortable. It does look better with there's like a strap that comes with it.
Yeah.
For when you're detaching them and you play them
It's
on
like
their
the
own.
Wiimote kind of wrist strap thing.
Yeah, they do
it
look...
has motion controls as well.
They do look a little better.
Oh, do they have motion controls?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
Yeah, so, you remember the trailer for the Switch where it showed off all the stuff that was... it was showing off as being a cool console for cool people on rooftops.
Oh, rooftop party people. Yeah.
Rooftop party people. Basically, in the presentation, they went, fuck those people, this is a motion control console again. You remember how well we did with the Wii U? This is this again.
The best part of the entirety of the presentation that lasted like an hour and 10 minutes was one of the guys standing there with a Joy-Con in his hand going, if you stand here, you can feel ice in a glass. And he tilts it and he's like, that's one ice cube. And then another ice cube falls into this imaginary glass that they've superimposed next to him and he goes, aha, I feel 2 ice cubes.
Yeah,
and then another one went in, he's like, I feel 3 ice cubes.
Yeah.
And then it fills up with water and he goes, there's water in this glass.
Yeah,
that's HD Rumble.
Yeah, the Switch has a thing called HD Rumble.
HD Rumble.
HD Rumble. It's really specific and high definition vibration, so you can feel how many ice cubes are in a glass.
They were really, really adamant that was a good use for it. Like that was we want to make it
for
so
all your water drinking sims.
Yeah, but yeah, it's really weird because they've just made it. They tried to distance themselves from the Wii sort of thing
and
the gimmicky kind of part, and then they just kind of grabbed it again with both hands.
Maybe that feels like they were going out and trying to do something new, and then they freaked out and went back to something that was familiar.
Yeah,
because they had like a dip in confidence or something.
Aww.
Because it seems that the equivalent of Wii Sports or Nintendo Land, I guess, would be a good example for this console, like the mini game sort of thing that comes with the console to kind of show off the tech, is a thing called 1-2 Switch.
I mean, that game where they literally sat there and they were like, the selling point is you don't even look at the screen. You look into the eyes of your enemy.
Yes.
Yeah. That was a really weird part.
So their like mainline game, their flagship game for this console. Well, actually, the flagship game for the console is Zelda right now.
Yeah, because that's the only game they've shown off about.
Yeah, we'll pretend it's 1-2 Switch right now.
Yeah.
But that's sort of the one to show off the tech. Is a game where you are not even required to look anywhere near the console. You just use the controllers and the way they have their HD vibration.
You need to like basically. You need to look your opponent in the eye and tell how many ice cubes are in your glass, and whoever picks wins. Whoever picks the correct amount wins.
That could be true. The only thing the trailer it showed really demonstrated was that there's like a game where you do like a cowboy quick draw.
Yeah.
I
don't know, because it kind of showed like two guys like in the stereotypical Western kind of desert, and they looked like they were just brimming with sexual tension.
Yes.
And I was just like, okay. This is, okay. Interesting new direction you're going in there, Nintendo. Appealing to the, yeah. Okay.
I don't know why. I was wondering while I was watching it if at some point all pretense would drop and then people that in these little vignettes they show would just start hard fucking. I don't know why, but that kind of got into my head that would be funny. Well, and it wouldn't leave my head after that.
It would be funny, but what you just made, that sounds like you just made crack fiction.
Well, possibly.
And you need to write that because someone out there will fap to it.
Well, yes. Speaking of fappable things,
okay.
there was the other Nintendo, it's not actually a launch title, but they made out like it was a launch title, but it's not really.
What do you mean, like most of the games they were bragging about?
Which was ARMS.
ARMS. Yes, the new up-and-coming game called ARMS.
ARMS.
Where, okay, so the live-action video, there's this big Vinnie Jones lookalike kind of ham man, and he's wandering up and he's squaring up to this Japanese schoolgirl. And then she throws her arms out, and then her arms turn into springs with, like, boxing gloves on the end of it.
Yeah.
And then he does the same, and then they fight with their arms. It's the most innovative shooter I've seen in years, honestly.
Calling the game ARMS is very much like...
That sounds like a working title.
It sounds like... It would be the equivalent of calling the next FIFA game Legs.
I would be all for that. Legs 2018. Yeah.
But... yeah, it looks quite... It's basically kind of a boxing game that uses the Joy-Cons sort of, for the whole motion control.
It looks like a cute party game.
Yeah, it looks quite... It does look fun, but it looks like it'd be fun for about 15 minutes.
And then you'd never play it again, and then like a year down the line, someone would go, hey, do you remember that really weird game that Nintendo made where you had the really weird long, like, springy arms, and someone will go, you mean Legs? And they go, no, I can't remember what the name was, but it was fucking stupid, and then everyone will forget about it for another 2 years.
The names of the two characters in it were pretty fantastic.
Oh, what was it? Springman and Ribbon Girl?
Yes. Showing the height of originality.
In a game called ARMS, it's like, did you expect any more?
Well, the thing is, like,
I'm upset that there's not like a springy super punch arm guy.
The thing is, it looks like quite imaginative. Like the actual designs are quite interesting and fun, very Splatoon-y.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just Splatoon with arms.
Yeah, like
so Splatoon needed more arms.
Yes, because it looks nice.
Is there a new Splatoon game? Because that was like quite successful for.
Yes, Splatoon 2 has been announced as well.
Okay.
Yeah, that does look quite cute. But ARMS, this is the game everyone's going to be excited about.
Yeah, Splatoon 2 was also shown on the...
I never played it, but I saw clips of it, and it looked quite good fun.
Yeah, it looks. I always wanted to play it, but again, it was the problem of that you had to play a Wii U, and that was the major issue. Because
problem with Splatoon 2 is that you've got to buy a Switch and then pay monthly for no reason.
Although at least it looks. Yeah, I mean that'll be shitty once you get to that point.
That's going to be like, okay, I guess I'm not playing online then.
Yeah,
because a lot of people like. I mean, there's, like, from a consumer point of view, there's no fucking point in doing it, because it's kind of taking the piss.
Yeah, it's just taking content away from you.
It's literally just like, hey, can we have some money?
There is some things you can access without the membership. I can't remember what it is, though. And there is, like, a list somewhere of what you can access, but it's still bullshit.
Is it as long as the Europe launch titles? Sorry, that was fucking catty as shit. I'm sorry.
But yeah, no, Splatoon 2 looks quite... it does look good. It looks like Splatoon, you know?
Yeah, it looks nice. It looks cute. Super cartoony. Inklings.
Yeah, they also did announce... Well, I say announced. They showed a trailer for the new Mario game. Have you seen anything of that, Matt?
Oh, yeah, because they showed... No, they showed, like, a little bit of Mario running around in the, like, teaser trailer or whatever it was. But I don't think they mentioned the game at that point. They just showed Mario and was like, well, this could be a tech demo, it could be a game, who knows?
Yeah, it's Super Mario Odyssey, and... Yeah, Super Mario Odyssey, and it looks like a GTA 4 mod.
It does a bit.
It's like, you know, have you seen those really weird GIFs or videos of people who've been like, hey, so I've replaced Trevor in GTA 4 with Mario. Or a horse. It looks like that. Because it's like this...
Isn't Trevor from GTA 5?
Fucking, I don't know. I haven't played it yet.
Yeah, because Nico Bellic's in 4.
Oh, yeah. Ugh, God, I haven't played a GTA game in years. Give me a break, your ass. Shut up.
Well, things if I don't correct you, then you'll just get a comment on the podcast, someone going, actually.
Snipe, actually. It's like, yeah, I'm aware, thank you. And now some fucker's gonna do it! I'm so fucking... Okay, I am so mad at you fucking sitting there about to type that comment. You're not funny.
No, they would have typed it, like, as soon as you said it, and then when we had this conversation, they were like, I
hope that... I honestly fucking hope they've typed it, posted it, and then they've heard this part, and then replied with, sorry. And then replied with, okay, you can stop going on about it. And, like, they haven't figured out how to delete comments, so they're just kind of, like, just spiralling into despair. But I digress.
Yeah, Dave, you idiot.
Yeah, Dave. Fuck. You know what I hate about Dave? He probably thinks Super Mario Odyssey doesn't look like a GTA 5 mod. Yeah. The twat.
Okay, so to go back to it, how does it look like a GTA 5 mod?
Okay, it kind of looks like... What was it they were saying? That Mario's going to be sucked into a very familiar place, and then they show, like...
It looks like New York.
New York, and he's just wandering around New York.
Like real New York?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Not like real New York.
No.
It's still kind of a bit cartoony, but...
Set in our world, not in Mario world.
Yeah.
I mean, it does look like... I think the whole kind of theme is him going to different worlds, so there are some other much more colourful and more recognisably Mario-y kind of
because, I didn't really like the look of the New York area. It's just very... The thing is, it's realistic, which is a problem, because you've got this really cute, colourful mascot character, like, jebbing about in there. And everything's grey and boring, and...
A lot of people have compared it to... That it looks a little like Sonic 06, which is kind of funny.
Ooh, I see that.
Yeah. I mean, the game looks... It does. I mean, it looks like the sort of Mario game I'd be interested in, because...
you can jack cars in this one.
Well, no.
Kill hookers, you know. Standard Mario.
You know, that classic staple of Mario.
Because, like, a lot of the newer stuff has all been, like, the new Super Mario stuff, where it's all been very abstract, and it's just been, like, a modern version of the 2D stuff, or even when it's been, like, the 3D stuff, it's still this kind of abstract world. It's not, they've not tried to create, like, kind of a Mario 64 style, like, proper, cohesive world. And I kind of miss them doing that, so I will be interested to see how it comes out. Also, Mario's hat is alive now.
Yeah, it has eyes.
What?
Well, what happened is Nintendo...
happened.
They sat there and they went, what can we do for the new game? And someone went, we can make Mario's hat alive. And then someone shouted at them and said, you said the exact same thing about Zelda, and then we made Minish Cap. We're not doing it for Mario. But I guess he kept insisting, so they did it again.
Then I guess they realised that the guy he was shouting at is, like, the son of the owner, and they were like, oh no, that's a really good idea, actually.
No.
So the hat has eyes, and you can, like... I do like the idea of you take the hat off and you throw it, and then you can use it as a jump pad. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But I don't know... See, making it alive just adds a lot of questions. Like, is it okay with being a subservient piece of headwear that just sits on Mario's head until it is deemed useful to be fucking jumped on?
Also,
I'm getting very existential here, but...
the other thing that they've done is now Bowser is dressed in a pimp outfit, and he looks fucking badass.
Yeah, he's like proper... Ooh.
He's got like a white pimp suit. It's
so
amazing.
Fresh. You see, what it looks like from the trailer is it looks like he's getting married to Peach, and to me, the entire thing looks like Mario has just been dumped by Peach and can't accept that the relationship is over, and she's moved on, and he's like going to go crash the wedding.
She's moved to New York, moved away from the Mushroom Kingdom.
She's just trying to get her own space, and he will not leave her the fuck alone. She's like, "Look, Mario, I've got my new boyfriend Bowser, and we're getting married, so just leave me alone." And he's like, "Nah."
Did I ever tell you about the time that I saw someone who'd drawn a Peach X Bowser porn?
What is that?
And Bowser, the head of Bowser's penis was spiky, just like his shell.
No,
Peach didn't seem to mind.
That sounds a bit like a cat's winkle.
A little bit,
actually. Maybe it's to induce ovulation.
I don't know. I don't really want to think about it that much, to be perfectly honest.
You fucking brought it up. You're like, hey, look at all this Mario porn I've been watching, you guys.
Speaking of penises,
so now you're gonna change
in
the
Nintendo
subject.
games.
Okay.
And I can't believe this is a segue I can make and it actually be accurate.
Oh!
Okay, so are you familiar with the Shin Megami Tensei games, Matt?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, have you ever heard us talk about Digital Devil Saga?
Possibly.
Okay, you probably haven't. Probably zoned it out because we're very, very boring people.
Well, there's various games in the series. It's in the series, it's like the same under the same banner. Like the Persona games are under that, if I remember rightly. They're Japanese RPGs. Now there is a reoccurring character in that called Mara.
Mara he will be your favourite character.
Now Mara is shown in the background in this trailer for the new SMT game. On this Nintendo presentation. Do you want to know what Mara is?
What is he?
Mara is a giant, I repeat, giant, bright green penis monster. Like, not I'm making a joke.
Or it looks like a penis.
Like, literally is a penis, like, head of the penis, cock and balls, the whole thing, that rides a chariot and has a big monster maw, where the heart of the penis, I believe it's called.
I believe that's the frenulum?
Yes, where that would be located, there's a big gaping maw.
Okay.
That was in the trailer. You had to look in the background and know where to look, but he was there. So, giant penis monster on the Nintendo Switch.
If the Nintendo Switch presentation had, honest to God, just been some guy out there standing on a stage for an hour going, penis monster with teeth who rides a chariot. Buy our console. I would have fucking bought it by now.
You see, because
I respect that kind of honesty.
I'd always put off playing the Shin Megami Tensei games, apart from Digital Devil Saga, and now I'm like, why wasn't I playing them? There is a giant penis monster.
So is the giant penis monster in all of the games?
In quite a lot of them.
Yeah. Well, there we go. There's that.
Yeah.
It's everyone's new favourite character.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what else was there. Oh, there was Project Octopath Traveler.
Project Octopath Traveler. Ah, it's a catchy name.
Yeah.
It's a Squeenix RPG.
Yeah.
Okay.
It looks quite cute. It's kind of like sprites, but they've been given depth, so they're kind of like a 3D sprite because they've got shadows behind them, and they.
Yeah, I guess it looks a little how Paper Mario looks, but with like SNES style sprites.
Yeah.
Oh,
they,
cool.
they only showed a little bit of it.
It does look quite sweet, to be fair.
I would be interested to see that because I do. Square Enix a little while back kind of said, yeah, we don't know what we're doing with our RPGs.
Took them long enough to admit, really, but...
So we should probably, actually try and make some old school RPGs again, and hopefully this will be one of those things. So I'll be interested in trying that at some point. They also showed off Skyrim, because, yeah...
4-year-old game. I'm so glad I'll be able to buy it again.
And then EA got on stage to say that there would be FIFA on the console.
Oh god, okay. That was my favourite part, because EA, obviously, soulless, evil creatures. The people on stage, okay, there was this big, long, unkillable longman guy on stage who was like, my son's middle name is Luigi. And then he'd kind of look off to the side and there'd be this sweet guy behind him going like speaking in Japanese, translating. And the guy up front was so irredeemably evil.
Well,
No, he was the literal devil. I've decided this, so it's true.
I think you might be judging him by his proximity to EA.
Yeah, do you think that's unfair? That's like...
Okay, yeah.
Just because I'm a member of the KKK, do you see what I mean? You see the fucking argument you're giving me? It's fucking pointless. That guy was fucking sinister. He was a big, long, evil guy.
Yeah.
And I didn't like him.
He was an unkillable long man. I think.
Yes, he was an unkillable long man.
So yeah, there's. I guess the thing to take away from that is there is FIFA on the Switch, if that is a thing that matters to you. What else? Oh, the only other real only other real thing was that they showed another trailer for the new Zelda at the end.
Yeah, which it seems okay.
I would actually like to ask a question of the audience, if anyone feels like answering this for me. There is voice acting in this trailer, and I was honestly thinking, is there voice acting in any other Zelda game, with the exception of the CDI ones? Because there's voice acting in those. But I can't remember if there's voice acting in any other Zelda game, so it's just kind of weird to actually hear them talking, like, properly.
There's the annoying little hover thing.
Navi.
No, that's Majora.
What?
The little buzzy thing that
no, let's not do that.
What?
No, that's Navi, but it doesn't really speak. It just goes, "Hey, listen."
Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
Like, it doesn't actually have proper voice acting. It just has that
That's the one I was thinking of. Yeah, I was like, it says words. I don't know if that counts.
Also, for the record, I was joking by referring to Navi as Majora. That was a joke before. That same person's typed out a fucking quote. Oh, Snipe, you're so dumb. Everyone knows Majora's the horse he rides.
And that again started another comment.
Oh, but yeah. Oh, and of course, we are forgetting the most important part of the Nintendo Switch presentation.
Yes.
Suda51. He was there, and they didn't show off his badass tattoos.
And that is a crime.
That is a crime.
Actually, weirdly, when he came on stage, because I don't know if you know anything about Suda51.
He is precious and must be protected.
He does games.
Yeah, he does weird games. Like he did No More Heroes and Killer 7 and shit. Like, just games that are a little quirky. But the guy who was doing the live translation for him was like I don't know if he was just bad at what he was doing or if he was really nervous. I kind of think it was the latter.
I think the guy was really nervous because they had two translators that were kind of listening to like them speak live and like live translating.
Right.
So there was one guy who was quite good at it. So it had a few stumbles here and there. Because it's live.
Yeah.
So, and then there was the other guy who was like. There was, like, a good few seconds pause when Suda51 was talking, where he was obviously just, like, freaking out and tripping over himself, and it was like, you just felt so bad for the guy, like, oh shit, and he's like, I'm very excited, happy, and it's like, oh mate, I just felt so awkward on behalf of that guy, it's like, shit, dude. Oh,
but I guess...
Poor man.
I guess overall, the Switch presentation was, like... I mean, it was fine.
Yeah,
like, the actual presentation was fine, but as it went on and as the days have gone by and more details have been coming out, like the Switch is looking less and less kind of interesting, especially to do with like the shitty online stuff. The fact it's already completely sold out.
Oh, I want to talk about the pricing. I forgot about that.
Oh yeah.
So. The pricing. So, like 280 quid for the console, which it comes with HDMI cable, AC adapter, a Joy-Con controller, the little screen and the dock, and the two clips that you slide onto each individual Joy-Con controller. Pretty decent. If you want an extra Joy-Con controller, I think it costs you $60, $70?
Oh, whoa.
Is that for just one, or is that for the pair of them?
I think that's just... the pair is kind of like one inclusive, I think.
Okay.
So yeah, I think that's that. And then there's the Pro controller, which is just what everyone will really want, because that's the non-gimmick controller.
It's the one that just looks like a 360 controller.
Yeah, those are like $70 as well. But there's nothing remarkable about those as far as we can see.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, and then it's like, if you want another dock, because I'm not sure if you've seen it, but it's like, you put, like, there's a little screen inside the dock, and you pull that out.
Yeah,
because the actual part of the screen is the console itself.
Yeah, part of the screen is the console. So if you want a dock, you're going to have to buy another one, and those things cost like $90 each, and they're literally just a charging station.
Yeah.
And it's like, there is going to be no third-party controllers for this at all.
Yeah.
It's like with the HD Rumble, it's like, maybe for the Pro controller? But who the fuck knows?
I mean, I wonder if it'll have any backwards compatibility to old controllers, because like the Wii U, I mean, that went all the way back to like GameCube controllers. You could plug into that thing.
Yeah, and Nintendo are usually pretty good at the whole. Although it's a cartridge games, isn't it? So it's not going to be backwards compatible with any Wii or Wii U games.
It's SD cards, isn't it?
It's, I don't know, some sort of cartridge.
Actually, I know absolutely nothing about the delivery method of games. I realise that now.
I can't say for sure, but I'm sure it was SD cards. At least I heard it was anyway.
I don't know exactly the format of the card. It's some sort of cartridgey card thing.
It'll probably be like similar to how they do the DS stuff, where it is like a kind of pseudo SD card type thing.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much all we've got to say about the Nintendo Switch.
Yes.
Yeah. So Wiblet, what have you been up to apart from Nintendo switching?
Apart from watching that thing for an hour.
Yeah. The whole couple of weeks. What else have you been doing?
I've been playing a lot of Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus.
No one was surprised.
Because that came out on the 3rd, I believe.
Is this the one that you did the Pokemon mod of?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I saw that.
Because they've released mod tools, which I've had a bit of a play with, and I'm very bad with. But
yeah, you idiot! You can't immediately be awesome at something you've literally just started using.
Yeah,
what's wrong with you, moron?
I'm gonna have a play, like changing a few textures around and stuff. It's just I haven't had the time because, as people have probably noticed, we've ended up going from like 1 video a week to 4 videos a week.
See
right
what
now.
happens when you leave, Drummer Matt? We miss you so much. We have to just completely bombard ourselves with work.
But yeah, they added quite a few new cool things. I mean, there's like, obviously new items and a couple of new bosses. But they added Greedier mode, which is like a harder version of Greed mode. And they added a new area called the Void, and a new final boss. And actually put a final ending for it, because I don't know if you know this, Matt, the Binding of Isaac has, at this point, I think 20 different endings.
Yeah, because don't you play through it and you get to an ending, and then when you play it through the next time, you get past that ending and get to a different ending or something.
Yeah, basically.
Stackable endings.
Yeah, they added like 2 more for this. One's for Greedier mode, and one's for beating the new final boss, who's called Delirium.
Oh, I've heard good things about Delirium.
The new bosses are pretty tough. Let's think, because it's had a lot of patching, because when it first came out, some of these new things were fucking ridiculously hard. Like,
which is the one with the double? Because I don't really play Binding of Isaac, but there's like a boss that is 2 guys that are in gimp suits. Sisters, yeah, those guys, didn't they nerf them pretty severely?
They nerfed them pretty hard. I did fight them and beat them in their harder version, where they were much quicker.
Okay. Got a badass over here.
But they were tough, and they did wreck my shit when I was fighting them. Just because I had a lot of life, I could deal with it. But those got nerfed heavily. Greedier mode in general became more generous, because it's kind of like regular Greed mode, but with like an extra stage, an extra wave per... I think there's an extra wave, anyway. But it gives you less money as you go through. So by the time you get to the end, you'll have less items than you normally would in Greed mode. And then once you've beaten Ultra Greed at the end, it then has a really cool thing. For the first time it happens anyway. Like, it makes you shit yourself, because what happens at the end of Greed mode is when you beat the final boss, it turns to like a solid gold statue, and then you get the ending thing. In Greedier mode, it turns into the solid gold statue, waits for a second, and then thuds start happening, and then it comes to life in that gold statue mode.
That's fucking rad.
Which makes you shit yourself the first time it happens. You're like, oh fucking hell! And he just makes explosions happen everywhere, and it's a fucking nightmare.
Unless you've got that upgrade that means that explosions heal you, I guess.
Yeah,
which is just like, haha, you cannot kill me, I have already won.
It's a real lesson in, like, paying attention to your surroundings. Ultra Greedier, as it's called. Ultra Greedier is the name of that boss.
Sure.
But again, that mode got nerfed a fair bit, because it was considered to be a little bit harsh. Although I get to feel cool, because I did beat it in its harsh version.
Nice.
What else did they add? Oh yeah, Delirium and the Void. Once you've beaten Hush, I think it's if you have to beat Hush with the new character Apollyon, I think.
I believe you.
Or maybe it's just when you beat Hush for the first time after the mod came out, I don't know. Because I happened to just beat it with Apollyon, so I don't know. But
Just humble bragging over there. Just,
no,
I
no,
happen
no.
to be...
Well, I was playing the shits on the game. Like, beating Hush isn't particularly difficult. It just once you've played the game a bit, it's relatively easy to deal with. Certainly easier than Mega Satan.
I can imagine.
But once you've beaten Hush, it unlocks a portal that takes you to a new area where it's a massive area where each set of like tile set in each room is taken from a random location in the game. And there's like 6 or 7 boss doors in this area. One of them will have the new final boss Delirium in it, who just morphs into every other boss in the game, like wildly. And the more you hurt him, the quicker he changes. So he ends up like changing what type of boss he is, like every couple of seconds by the end of it. It's ridiculous.
That sounds nightmarish.
But also they're all reskinned to look like Delirium, who's like this big white face with like yellow eyes. It looks really cool. He's like melting, and then you get and once you beat him, you get the final the final ending rather. That shows. I won't spoil it for people if they haven't seen it, but you kind of see, you get a lot more context as to probably what really happened to Isaac. Because there's a lot of...
Well, apart from all the... I mean, we all know nothing good happened to that kid.
There's a lot up to interpretations about what really is happening in that game. But yeah, so that's been fun. I'm really enjoying that. The mods have also been interesting to see. There's the Pokemon one that we played.
Pokemods.
Where everything has changed to Pokemon. I don't know if I mentioned it in the video, but I've mentioned it on Twitter that one of the first mods I saw was someone changed the voiceover file for when you get the Balls of Steel upgrade to be Duke Nukem.
Nice.
That's phenomenal, and I fully support that.
And people are doing lots of little minor graphical tweaks. And they're working on currently making it so that those mods don't turn off achievements. Because currently, if you've got any mods running, it turns off achievements, so you can't game the system.
That's kind of the standard, isn't it? Yeah.
So they're working on making graphical mods not do that. So that should be interesting. I guess they just have to check to see what files are replaced. And if it's just stuff in like the GFX folder, then it's fine. So yeah, that's been really fun. I've been enjoying that again because it's just given me another excuse to keep playing the Binding of Isaac.
As if you needed an excuse.
Well, yeah. I last night I managed to I have now beaten everything in the game with the new character on hardcore mode.
Nice.
Awesome.
Because I went through and managed, because I beat Delirium on hardcore mode a few days ago, but I hadn't gone down the dark path and managed to beat Mega Satan, but I managed to do that yesterday. So I was happy. I've now got one character with everything in the game beaten on its hardest mode, so I'm happy. But apart from that, that's I'm trying to think what else I've done. I've been watching.
Apart from work.
Well, yeah, apart from work, I've got back into trying to burn through original series Star Trek.
Cancelling a Netflix subscription will do that.
Yeah. Because we weren't really watching it, so cancelled Netflix for a while. And then I was like, shit, I should probably try it. We've still got it for a few days, I should try and watch through more of the original series. So I finally saw City on the Edge of Forever, which is widely regarded as being one of the best episodes of Star Trek in general.
That's the one written by Harlan Ellison, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Who's that?
Harlan Ellison is the guy who basically they stole all of the cool ideas from to make Terminator.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And also, he wrote I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream.
Right, okay.
Really cool game.
Which you mean, he also voices Am, doesn't he?
He voices Am in that game, yeah. I mean, they did change a lot, and they did remove a lot of very horrible stuff from the game that would not fly.
Yeah, bear in mind how rough I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream is, a game that literally has Nazi concentration camps and
children in it. It's fucking rough.
And a character that's based on, like, their entire trauma is based around being sexually assaulted.
Yeah.
So,
and being punished for that.
Yeah, and that's in the game. They cut a lot.
They cut a lot from the story, yeah. Which he wrote in, like, an evening.
Yeah. It's not very long, the original.
No, it's not very long, but it is fucking rough.
But yeah, he wrote City on the Edge of Forever, and I won't give away much, because honestly, if you're going to sit down and watch an episode of the original series Star Trek, watch City on the Edge of Forever, because it's really good. Also has a really funny, a genuinely funny section where they're trying to explain who Spock is, because the whole thing's about time travel, and they get sent back to like the 1930s, and a policeman catches them stealing clothes. And he's like, "What are you doing?" And Kirk just looks at him and goes, "You're probably wondering about my friend here." Like, the guy hasn't asked, but looking at Spock. Is that you're probably wondering about my friend here. You can see, obviously, he's Chinese. It's like, okay.
Some good writing right there.
But it's like really... the fact that the cop doesn't care and how badly Kirk is lying, like they really pull off the scene really well. It's really good. But actually, there's a comic thing that's been coming out. I don't know if this is like worldwide or just Europe or just the UK or whatever. Of like a comic collection thing, like the fortnightly magazines you get.
First one's cheap to get you hooked, and then they crank up the price.
Yeah.
And then by the end of it, you've spent like £800 on something that would have cost you £200. Sort of thing. They're doing one of those at the moment with the Star Trek comics, and so the first one was like £2, and so I got that because it was like a Star Trek comic for £2, and it's the first one was a comic called Countdown, which I've been meaning to read. That is basically a story that bridges the gap between Star Trek set in sort of the post DS9 Voyager era and up to the point where Romulus is destroyed and Spock goes back to spawn the new prequels. Okay. Like the new reboot of Star Trek. It's the bridging story between those two canons. Apparently it's really quite good. I haven't read it yet, but that's what's in that one. The next one, which even though it's like up to full price, which is like £8, I'm still tempted to get because it's the version of City on the Edge of Forever, but based on Harlan Ellison's original script because a lot was changed. And knowing what Harlan Ellison was like, I really want to see that in like a nice readable form.
It's got such an interesting clash because Star Trek I've always found, especially the early ones, to be quite twee. Yeah, because Harlan Ellison has quite a hard edge on him.
Yeah.
So it was like...
Well, that's mostly what was cut out of the original script, from what I can tell.
I can imagine. Well, I do want to see what has been changed.
Although, actually, the one other thing I want to mention about watching original series stuff is I watched an episode the other day called The Apple.
Right.
In it, there is a race of people...
That are apples.
That are not apples.
Pineapples?
They...
Apples of the earth?
No.
Okay.
The reason it's called the apple is because it's making a Garden of Eden allegory.
Oh.
But the race of aliens, they have orange skin, curious whiteness around the eyes, giant fake-looking off-white hair. It is an entire race made of bad Donald Trumps.
Bad Donald Trump impersonators?
Yeah. It was really surreal.
That is pretty weird.
And I'm not going to make any kind of political satire here whatsoever. I'm just going to put some facts out there and let people make of it what they will.
We're going to be very unbiased now.
The crew of the Enterprise introduced the concept of sex to them. I feel that's a mistake.
Right?
Yeah.
Are you sure you didn't accidentally watch, like, the Trump porn version of Star Trek?
There is a Trump porn parody.
Oh.
Where
Why do you know this? What is wrong with you? Watch more Star Trek. You need a hobby. Fuck.
I think there is actually a porn version of the debate. So it's a version like someone playing Hillary Clinton pegging a guy playing Trump.
Oh, okay. I'm sure that's a lot of fun for people who enjoy political pornography.
I'm sure I saw Jim Sterling talking about that on Twitter.
Of course you saw Jim Sterling about it. He's the weird porn master.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a thing. On that note, that's kind of my thing done. Have you got anything to talk about?
Are you fucking seriously doing this? I can't fucking follow that.
What, after I've talked about Donald Trump porn?
Yeah, I can't. There is nothing I can say that anyone gives a fuck about now. Like, at all. I can try. I've been watching a lot of anime.
Yeah, sorry about that. Matt's French internet fell off.
Yeah.
Now you're in a different room.
And it's super echoey.
I'm in the world of echoes.
It's fine. There's not much left.
It's okay, you can be the voice of God. No, I forbid this, or whatever it is God says. I don't know.
Just any time you're talking about like how messed up an anime gets, you can like Matt can sit there and go,
No, anime was a mistake. Can you see right now? He's just laughing, so it doesn't feel like that much of a mistake. Okay, yeah, I have been watching anime, shock horror. like a few notable ones. There's Ao Oni, the blue monster, which is have you? I think is it an RPG Maker game of the same name?
I believe so.
Yeah, and it's just a weird RPG Maker game, and they decided to make an anime out of it.
Yeah, it's like a horror game.
Oh, hang on, they did it that way round. There's the game first.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, and like it's really weird because it looks like it's done in Flash or something.
Yeah, well, it's one of those. Like Japan has these anime that are like 3 minutes long.
Yeah, like really short ones. Like Gakuen Handsome is a perfect anime.
We will talk about that in a moment. You need to finish talking about the blue demon.
Oh, okay. But yeah, so like in the game, it's literally just you're wandering around a house and you've got to solve puzzles, and this blue demon can come up and just kill you. Yeah, standard kind of stuff.
Right.
And the anime is like a bunch of characters who know each other, and they go in there and they, like, in the first episode, they don't notice that the blue demon is in the room with them. And, like, he literally, like, as they're talking, like, he walks up to this character, as this guy's talking, puts a noose around his neck and wanders off. And then, like, two guys, like, in front of him are talking, and then you see this guy being, like, yanked up to the ceiling and hung. And, like, he's still talking like everything's fine. And then, like, he starts eating another character's head while he's still talking, so he's like, oh, blah, 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 and then, like, they've just censored his neck because his head is missing. And there's, like, the girl on the floor, and she's had her head cut off, and she's being stamped on, so she's just all squashed, and she's like, you're right, this house is kind of unwelcoming. And it's like, the fuck am I... And they all die horribly, without really realising it. And then the next episode is just them getting killed in different ways again. But, like,
right, okay.
they open a wardrobe, and one of the characters is in there, and he's shaking so much that he's generating electricity. So much so that they can power the entire house. So they rig him up, and they phone up, like, the local, like, power station, and they're like, yeah, we've got free energy, so we can solve the energy crisis of the near future. And they're like, yeah, we'll give you $30,000 every month for him. And they're like, yeah, you're on. And they're like, yay! And then the blue demon comes in, because the guy catches fire, because he's a bit overcharged, and then he, like, gets a bowl of rice and starts eating him, and they're like, oh, you like barbecued meat? And he's like, yes, and then chases them all, and that's the fucking end. It's like, the fuck am I watching?
Where did you find this thing?
Crunchyroll. Which should fucking sponsor us, because everything I'm going to be talking about is on fucking Crunchyroll. But yeah. And then there's Inferno Cop, which is like Japanese Axe Cop.
Excellent.
Again, this is a 3-minute anime thing. Because I watched this with you.
Yeah, because I was like, you need to watch this, and you're like, I don't really like anime, and I was like, fucking sit down.
Yeah. I mean, the last 2 or 3 minute anime you showed me was the Donut Cat thing.
Donyatsu.
Yeah,
Donyatsu. Oh, which also I have another one for you, Drummer Matt. Yeah. You have to watch Bananya.
Okay.
Because it's literally about like bananas that have little cute kitties in them.
Oh.
And they're all called Bananyas.
Okay.
And they're amazing, and I will link you afterwards.
Yeah, to describe Inferno Cop, it's very like Axe Cop, but it's animated as if it's animated like if the Emperor had a text-to-speech device, except if it was animated not by someone who gave a shit, it was animated by someone like me. So it's like the same style thing of like they've got one picture of the person and then they have to animate everything around that one picture.
Well, Inferno Cop is it's fucking weird.
But yeah, it's nowhere near as like well done as like text to speech. So
bit of spoilers for the first episode. A policeman rolls up to a disturbance where a gang of people are attacking a heavily pregnant woman. He strolls up and he pulls his gun and he's like, okay, you got to stop that. That's against the law, or whatever does policemen say in this situation. And they turn around and they go, well, we've paid our taxes, so... And he's like, oh, why didn't you say so? So he gets in his car and he drives off, and the woman's like, oh no, but I'm so pregnant. And then Inferno Cop rolls up. Inferno Cop, who is stood there with his awesome revolver, his leather jacket, and his head that is a skeleton that is on fire.
Okay, his head is a skull that is on fire, not an entire skeleton.
I like my version better. And he's like, stop that. And they're like, oh shit. But we pay our taxes. He's like, I don't fucking care. So he kills them all. and saves the lady.
Kills them. Okay, yeah, fair.
Yeah. Kills them all, saves the lady, and she's like, oh, thank you. And then her water breaks, which causes a fountain to erupt between her legs and spray him with baby juice until the street is submerged. He delivers this baby, and it has the mark of the Southern Cross, which is the gang that was hassling the lady in the first place. I won't continue and spoil it, but that baby has quite a destiny.
Yeah. Everyone should just go and watch some Inferno Cop.
Go and watch Inferno Cop. You probably will regret it, but it'll be an experience. Oh, God. Oh, and Gakuen Handsome.
Yeah, that's
another 3-minute thing. It's very beautiful. It's I don't think I can adequately describe this anime.
It's based on, and it's another one that's based on a game.
A dating game.
A dating game with the same name. I think probably the best way to describe that one is it is a short anime that it's a comedy, but the art style is based around 14-year-old Westerners drawing anime on DeviantArt.
I know because I was a 14-year-old Westerner drawing anime on DeviantArt. So, yeah, that's exactly how my art fucking looked.
It's intentionally drawn really badly.
They all have ridiculously pointy chins. like seriously, just Google Gakuen Handsome. You will not be disappointed. I have such shites to show you. But yeah, so I've watched the entire run of that. It's pretty good. And I guess the last one is okay. I want to see if Drummer Matt can guess the what this anime is about. Assassination Classroom.
Okay.
Okay, what do you think that anime is about? It's just from the title.
A school of assassins?
Close. It's
so where assassins learn how to assassin?
Kind of. It's one class that is full of assassins.
Okay.
Well, I say assassins, they're like 14-year-old kids.
Yeah.
That aren't really assassins. But they have been given a thing by the government. They've been given a mission to kill their teacher.
Right.
Because otherwise he's going to blow up the world in a year.
Okay, right.
Yeah. He blew a hole in the moon just to prove that, and then he was like, look at me, I blew a hole in your moon, and I'm going to do that to Earth. Now let me be a teacher for a year, and if none of those children can kill me, then I'm going to blow up the Earth.
Right.
And the government went, yeah, that's alright, that's fair enough.
Legit, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just fucking bizarre. It's very silly, because they'll be like, because he's a really fucking good teacher.
Have you explained what the teacher looks like?
No, I'm not going to.
I feel that that's kind of important to bring up.
Okay, so I didn't want to spoil it, but the teacher is a yellow, smiley octopus alien.
Okay.
That's in, he's got the little, the graduation gear, the robes.
Mortarboard, it's called.
Mortarboard, yeah. So he's got a waterboard on.
A mortarboard.
That's what I said. Shut up. He's got a motorboat on, and he's a really fucking good teacher. And they the government supply these kids with anti-him knives and guns, and they don't hurt humans, but they murder him.
Okay.
And he can move at Mach 20.
Okay, right.
So frequently he'll just go to China for lunch and then come back during the lunch break just because But he's a really good teacher, and he's because Class E are kind of the dropouts and misfits, with really low grades, that this school is kind of sanctioned off to the side like some kind of disease. And he comes up one day and goes, I want to teach these kids. And they're like, sure, okay.
Yeah,
and the best things is there'll be a girl sitting there going, Sensei, I don't understand this math problem, and he'll go over and he'll be tenderly explaining to her, and then suddenly you'll see a hand pop up with a knife and try and stab him, and then he'll stop her, and then they'll just carry on as normal while she's trying to knife him. It's so fucking bizarre, but it's actually really bloody entertaining, especially because it's kind of a little bit of a spoiler, but not really, but the principal, he's oh, yeah, have you heard of the worker ant thing? 20% of people work really hard, 20% of people slack off, and the other 60 are average. He's trying to force a percentage so that if he, humiliates and victimizes 5% of the school body, like the student body, then 95% will be like looking down upon them going, I don't want to be like that, I best work hard. So he has like a good score. Yeah, and
awfully cynical.
It is, and it's like kind of like there's a couple of moments where it's like it really is quite close to the bone where they're like, oh, look at the misfit, you know, like they treat them badly because that's the habit, not because they're bad people. And it's just, and then there's the fucking big yellow octopus thing that's like outside making tea and getting shot at by every single one of his students. But yeah, can recommend that one. It's fucking bizarre.
Yeah.
And apart from work, that's pretty much all I've been doing.
Yeah.
Although, to be fair, there is one thing that's been on my mind this whole time. One very important thing.
Yeah?
Would you mind if I shared this? Because I want your guys... I want Drummer Matt's opinion as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I saw a writing prompt on... I follow writing prompts on Tumblr. And there was a writing prompt I saw that was... Oh, what was it? Here I wrote it down. You're Woody and you've just been, quote, adopted by a new family. This person has a lot of toy collections, but by far his Warhammer 40,000 collection is the strangest and it's making Buzz Lightyear nervous.
Right.
I think it's making Buzz Lightyear nervous because he's obviously a fucking space marine.
Well, I like to think...
He's afraid of Games Workshop's copyright people.
That's it, yeah. It's literally just one sentence, writing prompt over, go home.
I like to think that all of the 40k miniatures would be like Buzz Lightyear was in Toy Story 1, and that they think they are Space Marines or Chaos Marines or whatever.
Well, like, they're just gonna see, like... Because I headcanon Buzz Lightyear as a lunar wolf.
Yeah,
a giant lunar wolf. And well, we all know what happened to them, don't we?
Oh, so, yes.
I mean, what is the army this guy owns? Is it loyalist? Is it chaos? Is it Marines at all? What are we doing here?
Well, I think it's safe to say that
I'm getting stuck in the minutiae of just.
It's safe to say. Let's just say it's a Marine army.
It will be an Ultramarine army because
it always is.
It always is.
Yeah.
I remember hearing a quote that someone had on I think it was on Daka Daka, the forum, where they said there are two kinds of 40k players. There are people that have a Space Marine army and people that only have a Space Marine army.
I'm glaring. I know I can't like... I have like 5 witch models from Deldars.
I can't say... I might have... My main army might be orcs, but I do have a Space Marine army.
This is true.
So let's just assume it's Space Marines.
Yeah, it's just, yeah.
Although I do love the idea, because you remember the soldiers from Toy Story, how they'd move, like with the little click noises they make. Imagine an entire 40k army doing that towards you.
Oh god! See, it'd be funny at first, then it'd be menacing, but then it'd get funny again.
But the thing that I think is really interesting there is that brings up the idea of where you draw the line in Toy Story. Like, about what's alive. Because obviously in Toy Story, the toys are alive.
Yeah, like the Woody and the Slinky. And then there's, things like Ham, the Piggy Bank. And then there's the Etch-a-Sketch, which is technically kind of like an entertainment art kind of thing.
So, does that mean that,
Would a Rubik's Cube be alive?
Would a games console be alive? Would a money box that is not shaped like something that's supposed to be alive come alive in the Toy Story universe?
Maybe it has to look like it is alive, and then it is alive. That's how.
Well,
but the cars
they have
are
things
alive.
like Transformers and cars, and an Etch-a-Sketch. So it's like, okay, what have I got figurines in my room? Okay, so I have dinosaur toys, and we know from Toy Story 3. Well, we know from Toy Story in general that dinosaurs count as alive. Okay, so what if I had a xenomorph figurine?
Yeah, do those come alive?
Would that come alive? Would it terrorize the other toys? Would it kill? How do you kill another toy? What would happen if one of the... They don't rot because they're non-organic.
Well, in fairness, Buzz is an exception in that he thinks that he's the thing that he's shaped like. Most of them know they're toys, so presumably the xenomorph wouldn't behave like a xenomorph.
Well, what if it initially does?
Well, possibly.
Because then you have to get Lego fire, and it would be genuinely no, that's probably real fire, because the fire thinks it's real.
Okay, so I have a more horrifying thought.
Okay.
So your 40k dudes are alive, right? Mm-hmm. What happens if if one of them you're building it and it's built, but you haven't put both of its arms on yet, would that still be alive as a legs, torso, and head?
So,
But then if that's alive, if you follow it through, are they alive when they're still on the sprue?
Also, what if you kit bash and swap parts?
Yeah.
And there's that that's like completely like
because
confusing.
you've got your bits box of like miscellaneous heads and things. Are all those bits alive?
This is some kind of Cronenbergian nightmare. Yeah, like, do the arms know that they're attached to the wrong person? Are they silently screaming?
I don't want to think of my bits box coming alive and all the arms and legs, like, crawling out.
Yeah, like all the bits you glued together when you were, like, 14. Like...
Oh, no. Oh.
I mean, I guess... Because, I mean, that sort of stuff is touched upon in Toy Story 1 with Sid, where he makes those, like weird, like, combination toys.
But they seem to function.
But do they share consciousness? Like, if you... Like, you remember there's that part where the doll has its head removed and replaced with a pterodactyl's head?
Yeah, and they like, swap heads.
Yeah.
But they do get that procedure reversed.
Yeah, but... When they're, like, as those parts where there's, like, got the pterodactyl head... Does that have the consciousness of both those toys, or just the one that the head comes from? Because if we're dealing with a thing where your sprue could be alive, is the one sprue one consciousness? So if there's, like, multiple Marines on that, is that one, like, gestalt entity?
Okay, I'm gonna trump that right now, because when Buzz has gone a bit weird and he's having tea with Hannah's toys, neither of them have heads. And they are still fully functioning and able to direct and kind of know what's happening.
Yet his arm is not alive and sentient.
It's not alive.
So where does the sentience in a toy exist? Is it in the torso?
It's not in the head. It seems to be in the torso.
There's the legs with a fishing rod on it, which is sentient.
The hooker.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, we go back to the and we get back to the Etch-a-Sketch, which has no head or body. So where is
the sentience in that Etch-a-Sketch?
Where does this centre? Because obviously there is a point at which the sentience is cut off.
Because Buzz, like you say, Buzz's arm is completely useless.
And likewise, as a similar point, is where does this stop? Like, is it only things that children interact with? Like, say, I've got a Mechagodzilla vinyl figure up there. That's not for kids. That's a figure for people to just have.
Whereas I have one of those monster things that you can, like, yank off the arms and legs and head and swap bodies. So this dude, my little werewolf guy, who, like, there's a line of toys where you buy them and you buy another one and tear the arms off and then just kind of mix and match. I have one of those, so where is the sentience in him?
Well, yeah. Like, that toys like that are an issue in themselves, but what I was saying was that...
It's a monster.
Was that something that's designed for adults, that's a toy for adults, does that still come alive?
Sex toys? They're toys.
That's the next point.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Exactly. Do sex toys know what they are?
Oh, God. That'd be a horrifying existence.
Yeah.
Muffled screaming is heard.
Is it the word toy that gives them the sentience? Or is it... I want to know where the line is drawn. I want to know.
Well, like, you look at, like, okay, so Little Bo Peep, you remember her? She was a porcelain, like, lamp.
Yeah, because she's not
a toy.
She's not a toy at all.
She's not a toy at all. She's a porcelain figure.
So that does kind of insinuate that it is, if it's something for kids. So that means that, like...
Do you think blankets could come alive and murder our children? That's what I'm asking.
Only in The Brave Little Toaster.
Okay.
Because there is a blanket in that, an electric blanket.
Well, electric blankets kill a lot of people. That's nothing special. I'm not scared.
Like because if everything can come alive, that means that the Brave Little Toaster exists in the same universe as Toy Story.
Okay, so toasters are alive. They're not a toy. They are a tool.
But so's an Etch-a-Sketch, really.
Yeah, but I'm sure they use tools in Toy Story.
They may be a slave race.
Oh.
Ooh.
Getting the dark lore of Toy Story here.
I mean, hell, you're talking about your toy that, like, comes apart. Think about Lego.
That's existentialist horror right there.
Like, what defines when that becomes a new entity? If you build something...
Are Lego blocks sentient? Because they're made of exactly the same thing.
Is there any... Because I don't think there's any Lego or Mega Blocks or anything like that in the Toy Story films, presumably because Lego...
There's Barbie.
Wouldn't give the rights to it.
There's, like, Barbie finally got in there on the third one, I think.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah. Where would Lego fall in that line? Would that be its own entity?
Well, you see, construction blocks, like, you see in one of the movies, building blocks.
Yeah.
Like, you see, like, you know, the kiddie building blocks with numbers on them and stuff.
Yeah.
Those are alive.
Are those alive?
I think they're alive, yeah. Because, like, in the opening scene, I'm sure that, you know, One-Eyed Bart is fighting Woody. I'm sure he knocks like some of them over, and I think they pop up and clean themselves up after Andy's gone.
Oh, you might be right there, actually.
Yeah, and it's like, so Lego blocks are alive. I guess Lego people would be alive.
Yeah, minifigs are presumably bound to be alive, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And do they suffer from the same kind of 40k, like, limbs belonging to different people thing?
Yeah, and like half the time...
pull people's hair off. Is the hair sentient?
Actually, wait a minute, because I've just realised how inconsistent this whole thing is, because obviously...
An inconsistency?
Yeah, because we know about Buzz's arm. When that's removed, that becomes non-usable. It's not movable.
It's like an actual limb if it was removed.
Mr. Potato Head, however, can remove his individual parts, and they retain, like, connection to him.
This is true.
So maybe things that are meant to be taken apart and put back together, those retain, like, sentience between those individual parts. It becomes like it's one entity, even though it's in many parts. But then that means that, yes, something like a Lego Man, where you can take parts of it and put it on another one, does that mean that then you could have two Lego Men that are sharing two minds between each other because they're sharing parts?
Maybe in this kind of weird, whatever it is, maybe with things like that, especially in greater numbers, maybe they're just a part of a hive mind. So no individual, because if that would happen to an individual...
So Lego is the Borg.
Yeah, I would feel that if that kind of thing was the stress on an individual ego, that would send them fucking bananas. You know what I mean? With the amount of pressure and having to deal with that. Well, so if a hive mind is the only plausible reason...
Well, maybe that's why there's no Lego in the Toy Story film.
Because it's just too fucking dark.
Because they're all insane. All the Lego men are dark, insane figures that the other toys stay away from. Because they are driven mad by their own existence.
That could very well be, because I haven't seen anything to disprove that. So it's a good hypothesis.
Your thoughts, Matthew.
Your thoughts. I would love to see, like, Ruth's opinion on this, because she's just going to sit there and go, why do you talk to these people?
I think right now, Matt is just sitting there going, I am glad there is now country borders between me and them.
Brexit was not a mistake. I'm over here now.
It's okay, I'm safe.
He says, rocking back and forth in his big echoey room.
But...
Oh shit, would Game Boys be alive?
If an Etch-a-Sketch is, I can't see why a Game Boy wouldn't be alive.
Oh, you know, that's really fucking twisted, because, like, I have, like, a few Game Boys, and the games inside them, would that mean they all have, like, Alzheimer's or some other kind of, like, degenerative mental disorder?
Oh, no, Game Boys would still be like BMO.
No,
BMO
because,
seems
like,
happy.
All of the cartridges, which is kind of... That's the reason, that's, like, the Game Boy's brain for the moment. All of their batteries have run out now, so you can't save. So does that mean they've all got, like, some kind of, like, memory issue? Like,
ooh, possibly. Sure, they don't have memory themselves. Although I think that's maybe thinking more about the real-world mechanics than the magical toy life that they have.
Yeah, this is true.
Because this is, let's just be frank, this is magic we're dealing with.
Yeah, some fucking evil, sinister voodoo magic. Well, actually, no, not voodoo magic, because voodoo was actually supposed to be very good. But yeah, some sinister, like dark, evil magic here. Because, like, so... Do toys feel pain?
I feel...
Yeah, they must do, because they're all scared of Sid. And if they didn't feel pain, they wouldn't be scared.
I think it is...
So they can die.
And Woody screams when he gets his head burned. So they must feel pain.
But
toys feel pain.
They also get, like, re-stitched. Because you remember in the second one, he, like, gets his arm torn, and he gets, like, his boot painted over and everything, so it's like... Surely getting your arms, like, re-stitched would fucking hurt.
I think the way of looking at it is simply that toys have a different concept of pain to what we do. They feel pain on a different level.
Maybe only when fire is involved, because it burns out the evil.
Well, possibly.
Because, you know, Sid likes using explosions.
Are you trying to insinuate that the alive toys are actually evil entities and that Sid is actually a righteous paladin in that world who is purging them?
I'm not insinuating that entirely. I'm just saying that the forces that created the toys, more specifically, their sentience, is presumably evil.
It's definitely the devil. I think
definitely some kind of evil entity. I'm not saying the toys themselves and all their individualities are inherently evil, because that would be outrageous of me to say. But I feel that the driving force behind their creation was.
Yeah. Should we maybe end the podcast now?
No, this is why people tune in. Existentialism about Toy Story and fucking stupid bullshit that means nothing to anyone.
So, I think, for unrelated reasons, I need to leave now.
Okay.
So we might have to end.
That's plausible. I believe you. Thank you for coming back and not being lost to the French forever.
It's okay, and hopefully next time I'll have a bit more of a permanent setup, so we won't have to move halfway through.
That will be good.
Well, I'm sure no one minded, and if they do, they've already written about 80,000 angry comments, and then they'll be angry about me forgetting which one is Epona. Yeah, so it's fine.
There were so many angry comments on this one.
Oh yeah, so many.
Goodbye.
Bye. That was a good episode.
Smooth.